On Sunday, the Miami Dolphins beat the LA Rams 28-17. It was Tua Tagovailoa's first start. The Dolphins are now 4-3. The Rams are 5-3. And it's no secret I love Tua, the Dolphins' young rookie quarterback. But the Dolphins won because of their defense. This is a rematch from a couple years ago in the Super Bowl. If you don't know what I'm talking about, remember when the Patriots shut down the Rams in the Super Bowl? They really limited that really good Sean McVay defense. Well, the guy behind that, other than Bill Belichick, of course, was the former Patriots defensive coordinator, Brian Flores, who is now the Dolphins head coach. And so on Sunday, we got to see a rematch of Brian Flores' defense against the offense of Sean McVay. And Miami's defense dominated on Sunday. The Rams quarterback, Jared Goff, had 4 turnovers. He had 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles. Jared Goff's first interception gave the Dolphins great field position, led to a Tua Tagovailoa touchdown, his very first of his entire NFL career. It was a slant to Devontae Parker. Kind of interesting. Clearly there was defensive pass interference, but he fitted in really well, and Devontae Parker caught the slant anyway. Now, I'll be honest. I was excited. Tua, it was cool. We'll talk about Tua. I think he was pretty mundane as far as a guy having his first start. But honestly, it was a really ugly start for both teams. As I kind of slur my words, I don't know what I'm saying here. But Tua had a fumble early on in the game. Looked very nervous. And that gave the Rams the ball at the 15-yard line, leading to a Rams touchdown. So Jared Goff had an early interception, giving Miami points. Tua had an early fumble, giving the Rams points as well. But then later there was a really, really crazy sequence where it was a tie game, 7-7, and the Dolphins running back Myles Gaskin fumbled deep in their own territory, like on the 3-yard line, fumbled. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is a really bad start for Miami. So the Rams got the ball first and goal at the 7-yard line. Well, on second and goal, shockingly, Jared Goff got sacked. He fumbled. And the Dolphins took the ball 78 yards for a touchdown. I went, oh, well, that was unexpected. And on the very next possession, the Rams went 3 and out. They punted. And Miami returned the punt 88 yards for another touchdown. So Miami was up 21-7. They had a touchdown on offense. They were kind of gifted the Rams with great field position. They had a touchdown on defense. They also had a touchdown on special teams. And it got even worse later when Jared Goff fumbled and gave the Dolphins the ball on the 1-yard line. First and goal on the 1-yard line. That led to another touchdown. So the Rams just handed the Dolphins opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. The Rams offense really struggled. The turnovers really cost them. And yet Tua had a 28-7 lead, and that's cool. He technically started the game, but Tua did very little to earn that lead. The Rams kind of handed it to them. And I love Tua. I think Tua is amazing. I'm not trying to discredit Tua, but both times Miami's offense scored in this game, they were handed amazing field position. The 33-yard line led to Tua's touchdown, and then the 1-yard line leading to the Myles Gaskin's touchdown run. So the Dolphins' defense really had the Rams' number on Sunday. The Dolphins' defense is why they won this game. I think the best defensive play of the game, in my opinion, I want to give a shout-out to Landon Roberts, a Dolphins linebacker. He recognized the run on one play, came in like a missile up the middle, literally took out the lead blocker and the running back in the same move. Just blew up the play. It was really, really cool. Shout out to Landon Roberts. I went, oh my gosh, that is a crazy, crazy football play. Now, Jared Goff really, really, really struggled in this game. And I believe I've really kind of learned Jared Goff's biggest problem as a quarterback, where he's really struggling in the pocket. And the longer the play develops and the longer he holds onto the ball, the less and less comfortable he looks. And that means that, what I mean, holding onto the ball longer, meaning like without throwing the ball, he gets worse. So even like a longer play action play where he fakes the run, flips around, reverse pivots, and sets up, he'll still get the ball out of his hands very, very quickly. By the time his back foot hits the ground, he's usually made a decision and is throwing the football. But what Jared Goff is not comfortable with, catches a snap, drops back, number 1 isn't there, the number 2 option isn't open, the number 3 option isn't open, he has to hold on the ball longer and longer and longer. And as Jared Goff is forced by defenses to hold on to the ball and work through his progressions to his 3rd, 4th, and 5th option, he's not very good. It's just, he looks very uncomfortable in the pocket. And with Goff, I think people don't realize, I actually have some compassion here because I think people don't understand how difficult playing the quarterback position is, where I would even say, I told this to my dad once as a kid, playing quarterback is kind of like trying to do ballet while wolves are like attacking you. Meaning that you have to keep your mind calm, you're looking downfield, you're trying to make decisions, your mind has to be relaxed and calm, and you have to do really subtle technical footwork in the pocket to stay alive, while guys are literally trying to hit you and throw you to the ground and take your head off. To keep your mind calm and be able to make subtle little footwork movements is really hard in that situation. So it's tough, and I feel for Jared Goff, but it's also, unfortunately, a really big part of playing quarterback, especially in the NFL. In college, in high school, you have great offensive lines and you have guys wide open. You can get away with it. In the NFL, you catch a snap, you have to be able to navigate the pocket and move around. And as of today, we're heading into week 9 of the 2020 NFL season. Jared Goff is really, really struggling with navigating the pocket and hanging onto the ball and making subtle movements in the pocket. So he had 2 interceptions. He also had probably the Dolphins drop 2 or 3 more interceptions. It could have been even worse for Jared Goff, plus the 2 fumbles. Jared Goff had a horrible, horrible day on Sunday, and the Dolphins defense dominated. Now, Tua, he had that rather inglorious start. He had the fumble that gave the Rams a touchdown. But overall, other than that fumble, I thought Tua was fine. I thought Tua was very okay. He had a lot of deep balls that were incomplete. Miami had a couple drops, but I really liked Miami's game plan, which was to get the ball out of Tua's hands very, very quickly. A ton of throws underneath. Again, they had a lot of drops, though. I thought that there were a couple guys who I wanted to see step up vertically that did not. But there were also no outstanding, wow, shocking, impressive plays by Tua. You watch Justin Herbert week 1, you went, oh my gosh, that's an amazing throw or an amazing run. You watch Joe Burrow and went, oh wow, the way Joe Burrow's throwing the ball is incredible. And I love Tua. There was no moment like that for Tua in his first start. Now, it's also worth noting he didn't have to do much. Like, I'm saying he didn't do very much. He also wasn't asked to do very much, where his team had such a big lead. They said, Tua, you got to lead, manage the lead. We're going to run the ball a lot. We're going to run out the clock. So there's not a lot of negative really about Tua to say, but there's also a lot of he was fine. Nothing bad, nothing amazing. And really, I feel like I need to see more about Tua, and I just need more information, and we'll see how the weeks go on. Like, it's one game. We'll see where Tua's at week 16 and 17 as the year comes to a close. I am disappointed that the Rams corner, Jalen Ramsey, didn't play in this game. He has an unnamed illness or got an unnamed illness, not COVID apparently, where I think he traveled with the team even and then got sick in the hotel room. So he did not play on Sunday. And it came out that the reason why Miami chose to start Tua at this point in the year was because they realized, hey, we have the Houston Texans first-round pick in the NFL draft. The Texans are 1-6. That means it's likely to be a higher draft pick. And Miami realized we have to figure out how good Tua really is so we can decide if we are going to keep him at the end of the year or if we're going to have to draft another quarterback and replace him. And when I heard that, I went, oh, you know what? That makes a lot more sense why they benched Ryan Fitzpatrick when he was doing well and the team was doing well. You know, they wanted to start the evaluation process of Tua. And I go, oh, okay, fair enough. Makes total sense to me. So, people said, I did get feedback on this. I shared this on Instagram, and I got a message from somebody saying, well, if they wanted to see what Tua had and how good he was, why didn't Miami play Tua week 1? And my answer is I think they wanted to give him some time to get ready, give him kind of a fighting chance to be ready when he got his first start in the NFL. The Dolphins were never planning to start Tua week 1. That was never going to happen. They had Ryan Fitzpatrick. I do think the situation has evolved now, though, where Houston has been really, really bad. And no matter how good the Dolphins do, their draft pick with Houston depends on how bad Houston does. If Houston has like a top 5 pick and there's like 4 quarterbacks available and they can get Justin Fields and Tua hasn't looked good all year, I actually think it doesn't matter how Tua does. They have to do the they have to do the research to figure out how good Tua is and do their due diligence whether or not they need to replace Tua or keep him. It makes sense to me why they put Tua in. They want to and need to start the evaluation process, and the situation has changed because nobody could have predicted how absolutely awful the Houston Texans have been this year. At least I think you could have predicted it, I guess, but that wasn't what they were counting on going into the year. Now that Houston is terrible, they have their draft pick, they got to see how good Tua is. It makes total sense to me. Now, I have two thoughts. As the Dolphins are going to go about evaluating Tua in the next, 9 weeks? We're week 8, so we have 10 weeks left in the NFL season, so 9 more games for the Dolphins. What are they, 4-3? So that's 9 more games. I have two thoughts. Number one, the Miami Dolphins, Tua's teammates love him. I know people from Alabama, they loved him at Alabama. And then in Miami, watch him after he throws his first touchdown pass in the NFL. They all were like, yes, they were excited. They clearly love their quarterback, Tua. Now, number two, I am confident in Tua. Here's why. There's a great play that nobody else in the world is going to talk about that Tua made on Sunday. It was a simple throw for 9 yards underneath. And I looked at that and I went, oh boy, Tua has the mental processing capability to play the NFL quarterback position at a high level. At the very least, he's a lot better than a lot of other young, especially rookie quarterbacks. So the Rams, it was an empty set for the Dolphins. The Rams decided to blitz. And Tua was calm, no panic. He knew exactly what to do with the ball. He had a plan. He beat the blitz with a throw. And this is a huge, huge thing that all young quarterbacks need to figure out. Young quarterbacks always need to have a plan against the blitz. Tua did, and I went, oh, wow. That's so... Daniel Jones often has not been prepared for the blitz. There's a lot of other quarterbacks. Daniel Jones isn't even a good example. Sam Darnold. Trying to think. Drew Lock regularly doesn't look prepared to deal with the blitz. Even Justin Herbert at times doesn't look prepared to deal with the blitz. Now, Justin Herbert's an incredible athlete. He makes up for it. But Tua, I think, mentally is a lot farther ahead than anybody realizes. I think Tua his processing power as a quarterback is phenomenal. I just want to see him start landing deeper and better throws downfield. And he may never wow. I talked to Brett Coleman going into the year. His evaluation of Tua is basically that Tua is a system quarterback. He's going to be efficient and quality and execute things the right way. He may never be making a 60-yard run that Justin Herbert can make, and that's okay. Tua's job is to win football games. He's got one win down, and time will tell, but I am very, very confident in Tua Tagovailoa as the rest of the year goes on. That play for me was a big indicator. Okay, Tua knows how to deal with a blitz. He's got a plan. Pre-snap, Tua's doing good things, and that makes me feel very, very good as someone who I am not ashamed to say I'm rooting for Tua. I want to see Tua do well. I'm not a Dolphins fan. I don't care about the Dolphins. I just really like Tua. And I love when young quarterbacks are successful.